Hello, hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather Corinne, and today we're going to be crocheting these adorable cow cuddle buddies. I'll post a list of materials and stitches we'll be using in the description box below, as well as a link to my blog post where I've typed this pattern out for you. So let's get started on this adorable cow. For the cow body base, we're going to make 2 of these. We're just going to put a slip knot on our hook and we're going to chain 9 chain stitches. For row 1, we're going to single crochet in each stitch across, so that'll be a total of 8 stitches for row 1. At the end of each row, we're going to chain 1 and turn the work around. For row 2, we're going to place 2 single crochet in the first stitch, so that's 1 and 2 in that same stitch, and then we're going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. And then we'll place 2 single crochet in that last stitch for a total of 10 stitches for row 2. For row 3, we're going to place 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. And then 2 single crochet in that last stitch for a total of 12 stitches for row 3. For row 4, we're going to place 2 single crochet in that first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. And then 2 single crochet in that last stitch for a total of 14 stitches for row 4. For rows 5 through 9, we're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch across for a total of 14 stitches per row, and I'll meet you back at the end of row 9. For row 10, we're going to single crochet decrease in those first 2 stitches. Then we'll single crochet in the next 10 stitches. And last, we'll single crochet decrease again at the end of this row for a total of 12 stitches for row 10. For row 11, we're going to single crochet decrease and then single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. And then single crochet decrease at the end for a total of 10 stitches for row 11. For row 12, we're going to single crochet decrease and then single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, and then single crochet decrease in the last stitch for a total of 8 stitches for row 12. For row 13, we're going to place 2 single crochet in that first stitch, so we're back to increasing. And then we'll place 1 single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, and then 2 single crochet in that last stitch for a total of 10 stitches for row 13. For row 14, we're going to place 2 single crochet in that first stitch, 1 single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches, and then 2 single crochet in that last stitch for a total of 12 stitches for row 14. Rows 15 through 19, we're going to single crochet in each stitch across for a total of 12 stitches per row. I'll meet you back at the end of row 19. For row 20, we're going to single crochet decrease, and then single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. And then single crochet decrease those last 2 stitches for a total of 10 stitches for row 20. For row 21, we're going to single crochet decrease, and then single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, and then single crochet decrease at the end for a total of 8 stitches for row 21. For row 22, we're going to single crochet decrease, and then single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and then single crochet decrease at the end for a total of 6 stitches for row 22. Row 23, we're going to single crochet decrease, single crochet in those next 2 stitches, and then single crochet decrease again. And this is our last row for the body base. So we're going to tie off with a long enough tail to be able to weave in our ends. And we'll pull through that chain 1 stitch. And I'm just going to take a tapestry needle and weave in these 2 ends to go ahead and get those out of the way. If you're enjoying this tutorial, please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Your support allows me to continue creating these free tutorials for you, so I really appreciate it. Once we've woven in the end nice and securely, we can trim off the excess yarn, and then I'll go ahead and weave in the second end off camera. So here's our body base, and we'll need to make a second one of these. So here's our second body base. I'll go ahead and weave in these ends as well, and we'll move on to the snout or nose. Now, we're just going to place a slip knot on our hook. Depending on which version of the cowl you're making, you'll make a pink nose or a brown nose. We're going to chain 6 chain stitches. For row 1, we're going to single crochet in each stitch across for a total of 5 stitches for row 1. At the end of each row, we'll chain 1 and turn the work around. For row 2, we're going to place 2 single crochet in that first stitch, so that's 1 and 2 in that same stitch. We'll place 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then we'll also place 2 single crochet in that last stitch, and that'll be a total of 7 stitches for row 2. For row 3, we're going to place 2 single crochet in that first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. And then 2 single crochet in the last stitch for a total of 9 stitches for row 3. For row 4, we're going to single crochet decrease, and then single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. And then single crochet decrease again for a total of 7 stitches for row 4. Row 5 is our last row. We're going to single crochet decrease, then single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and single crochet decrease again for a total of 5 stitches for row 5. Now we're going to create a border to sort of clean up these edges. So what we're going to do is continue to work directly down this left side of the snout with a round of single crochet. So we're just going to start single crocheting down this left side, around the bottom, around the right side, and back around the top to where we started. So here we are back to where we started. We slip stitch into that first stitch of the border, chain 1, and we're going to tie off with a long enough tail to stitch this snout onto our little cow. We'll pull through that chain 1 stitch to secure. And now all we have to do to finish up the little snout is to stitch on the 2 little semicircle, or I guess they're sort of little curves to the snout nose. So I just cut off a little piece of black yarn, and I'm going to stitch 2 little lines on either side of the snout to create the little nose holes. And there we go. How cute is that? So now I'm just going to double knot this off on the back side and trim off any of the excess yarn. Moving on to the cute little black spots on our cow cuddle buddies, we're going to get black yarn and we're going to chain 5 chain stitches. For row 1, we're going to single crochet in each stitch across, so that'll be a total of 4 stitches for row 1. Row 2, we're going to single crochet decrease. And then we'll place 2 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. That'll be a total of 5 stitches for row 2. For row 3, we're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And then we'll decrease that last 2 stitches. That'll be a total of 4 stitches for row 3. I know this spot is very weird. We have to increase and decrease in very weird ways to make it uneven. So the last row, row 4, we'll single crochet decrease. And then we'll place 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, chain 1, and we're going to tie off with a long tail. So there will be 3 spots on each side of our cow, so we'll need 6 of these little spots. So here's all 6. And next we're going to move on to the little legs. We're going to create a magic circle, and we're going to single crochet 6 stitches into the magic circle. For row 2, we're going to place 2 single crochet in the first stitch. So here's our second single crochet in that same stitch. We're going to go ahead and pop in a stitch marker into the very first stitch to keep our place. And then we're going to place 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat this sequence all the way around. 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch. This should give us a total of 9 stitches per round, and on the last stitch of this round we're going to be switching to white yarn. So we're going to yarn over and pull through. Instead of pulling through both loops with brown, we're going to pull through both loops with white. We'll pull tight on both of those loose ends, the loose brown end and the loose white end. We'll pop out this stitch marker, and we're going to single crochet in the next stitch with the white yarn. This is moving us into round 3 just to get us a couple of stitches in before we tie off the old brown color. So rounds 3 through 5, we're going to single crochet in each stitch around. So that'll be 9 stitches per round. So I'm just going to go all the way around this first round of white, and then I'll tie off with the brown. So now I've completed round 3. I'm going to tie the beginning of our white yarn to the end of our brown yarn and trim off the brown yarn. I like to use the end of these tails as stuffing at the end. And now I'm going to move on to complete rounds 4 and 5 with this white yarn. Here we are at the end of round 5. We're going to slip stitch into that next stitch, chain 1, and tie off with a long enough tail to attach the leg to the cow's body. I like to use the rest of these tails as the stuffing, so I'm just going to go ahead and stuff those down into the leg. And we're going to need 4 of these cute little guys, and here's all 4. Now we're going to move on to the adorable ears. We're going to use black and create a magic circle. We're going to place 6 single crochet in the magic circle. Now we're going to pull that loose end tight so we can move on to round 2. Round 2, we're going to place 2 single crochet in the first stitch. So that's 1 and 2. We're going to pop our stitch marker into that first stitch of this round to keep our place. And then we're going to place one single crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. 2 single crochet in one stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And that'll give us a total of 9 stitches for round 2. For rounds 3 through 5, we're going to single crochet in each stitch around, so that'll be a total of 9 stitches per round, and I'll meet you back at the end of round 5. At the end of round 5, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1, and tie off with a long enough tail to attach this to the side of our cow. Seem to have some difficulty with this chain 1 here. Slip stitch, chain 1. I'm going to snip off the yarn and pull through that chain 1 stitch. And I'm going to trim off the tail that was created from the magic circle because we want the ears to lie flat without any stuffing. So we're going to need to make 2 little ears. I chose to make the cow with the little flowers for this video, so now we're going to make the little flowers. So we're going to place a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to chain 8 chain stitches. So to create these flowers, we're just going to place 2 single crochet in each stitch across. So that's going to be a total of 14 stitches, and this is going to start to automatically curl up as we go, and that's how we're going to create our little flower. If you want to create both versions of the cow or the cow with the horns, the pattern for the horns is posted on my blog, and the link for that's going to be below in the description. So when you get to the end of this row, we're going to chain 1 and tie off with a long enough tail to sew this onto our cow's head. So you see how it started to automatically curl up? We're going to roll it up in that flower shape and use the tail to stitch through the bottom to secure it in that spiral shape. So we'll take our handy dandy tapestry needle and just run a couple stitches on the bottom side of this flower so that it doesn't come unraveled. And you'll make these in 3 different colors. You can use any colors of your choice. Obviously, I used a purple and a peach and a blue. Here's our cute little flower. Moving on to the most fun part, right? The assembly of our project. So first I'm going to attach these spots to each side of our cow body base. The first spot goes in this top left corner, so I'm going to use these long tails to stitch it down. And I just used both tails to tie a double or triple knot on the back side and trim off any of the excess to tie it off. The second and third spots go on the body portion in the top left and the bottom right, but you can obviously play around with placing your spots wherever you would like them to go. So here we are with all of our spots attached. So now we can move on to attaching our snout. So the snout is going to go right where the bottom of the head meets the body. And it kind of sits off in a 3D fashion. So I'm just going to use our handy dandy tapestry needle and stitch on the outer edges of this snout. Now you're welcome to place some polyfill stuffing behind the snout if you want it to stick off a little bit further. I chose not to put stuffing behind it so that it would be a little malleable, but that is completely up to you. And here is our snout. So I'm just going to turn it over and tie it off on the back side and trim any of that excess yarn off. Next, we're going to add our safety eyes. These are going to go right above the snout, almost touching the snout. And I'll link these down below. I get these safety eyes on Amazon in this multi-pack of different sizes. So we're just going to pop these on right above the snout and attach the little safety backs. Next, we're going to stitch on the flowers. Pick whichever order of the colors you want them to go over on the right side of the top of the head. Do want to be mindful that we're leaving enough of the white stitches at the top to be able to join the front and the back together. So just make sure that we're leaving enough space for that. And I'm going to start stitching these flowers on through these little spaces in between the folds, if that makes sense. Does anyone else love watching someone else stitch things together? I find it so relaxing and stress relieving. I just love watching people weave in ends or stitch their projects together. Let me know in the comments if it's just me or if you guys enjoy that as well. After attaching the flowers, I did go through and sort of attach the flowers to each other in an invisible way through the back side, just so that when we stuff this and stitch it together that they don't pull apart very much. So now we're ready to attach the front and the back side of our cow body base. We want to make sure we've got the right side facing outward, and we're going to place a slip knot on our hook with white yarn. We're going to start in this bottom right corner, and we're going to insert the hook through the front and the back, and we're going to single crochet. And we're going to join these together by single crocheting all the way around. So we're going to insert the hook through the front and the back, single crochet. And we're just going to continue on like this until we get to the space where the body meets the head. So on the stitch where the body and the head meet, we're going to slip stitch instead of single crochet just to give that a nice little indentation, and then we'll move on continuing to single crochet all the way up the side of this head. So we're going to continue crocheting all the way down to the other side where we'll place that slip stitch, and then we'll stuff down at the bottom of this side. So here we are with this bottom left still open. We're going to add all of our polyfill stuffing. Now that we've added all of our stuffing, we can pick up where we left off and finish crocheting up this seam. Once we're finished, we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch of our seam, and then we're going to chain one and tie off with a long enough tail to weave in our ends. How cute is this little guy turning out to be? So we're going to take our handy dandy tapestry needle and just weave in this loose end. Next, we're going to attach the ears on either side of the head. We'll use this long tail and our tapestry needle. going to stitch the opening closed on the edge of the ears first. Just run a couple stitches through there, and then we're going to stitch it onto the side of the head. So place it there, and I like to place a stitch through the head and then a stitch through the ear, and repeat until it is nice and secure. Then I'm going to tie off on the back side and weave in that end on the back side of the ear. So here we are with both of our cute little ears attached, and now we're going to move on to attaching the little legs. So we've got the stuffing from the tails inside the legs. We're going to do the same thing we did with the ears and stitch up the opening on the legs, just running a couple stitches through there, nothing fancy, and then stitch it onto the body. The placement for the upper legs is going to go right next to where the head meets the body. So one stitch through the body, one stitch through the leg, one stitch through the body, one stitch through the leg until it is nice and secure. And then we'll tie off and weave in the end on the back side, just like we did with the ears. So we'll add the legs at the bottom. So we've got the other arm at the top, and then we'll have the legs sort of off to the sides at the bottom. Ta-da! Isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen? I just love how this little cuddle buddy turned out. I'm thinking about making a pig version, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a pig pattern. So here is the bull with the horns. Like I said, the horn pattern is on my blog. Link can be found down below for that. And then we have our flower version with our cute little flowers on top and the pink snout. I just love this. The pair of these would be the cutest baby shower gift, and they look great in a nursery or a gift for a toddler. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon with a new fun project, and I hope you have fun crocheting.